So here's a meme I've seen numerous times over the years, and you've probably seen it too, floating around on social media. As you can see, it's four men on a sinking boat with two men working to keep the boat afloat while the other two slack off, with the caption, "This is today's society." First off, this is a very bleak view of society. Whoever made this sees humanity in a state of constant struggle and suffering, as if human life is somehow analogous to four men on a sinking boat. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm under the impression that life is better than ever despite all of the problems and all of the flaws in society. But this cartoon plays on the notion that we're all in this together, and thus it is our duty to work together to solve problems and help each other out. But that's not what humanity is all about. We're not all in anything together. We all have our own lives, our own aspirations we want to achieve, and our own desires that we want to experience. Sure, some people may have it harder than others. Some people will have to work harder than others to be happy, and some will be born with more talent and opportunities than others. But hey, that's life. Nobody can help the time period or country or socio-economic situation that they were born in. Nor should anyone measure themselves and their happiness amongst others. So I reject this view that society is just half people suffering and slaving away, while the other half just sits around and does nothing. There may be people who are privileged enough to sit around and do nothing, but those people aren't exactly happy. If you're not doing anything with your life, then your time will simply be spent hopping from one distraction to another. Your entire life is reliant on others to support you and predicated on escaping the fact that you're not doing shit with your time. And if your time is spent working and making money despite any perceived privilege, then that means you're creating value for people who are willing to trade for it. In other words, you're helping out others, rather than just sitting on your ass while laughing at the less fortunate. Furthermore, life is not just some sinking boat as illustrated in this picture. Everyone is gonna die eventually, and most people want to be happy and make the most of it. Or at least that's how it should be. The problem I have with this picture is that it appears to demonize happiness and success with a half-assed analogy. It's similar to all these fun-shaming memes that I've discussed numerous times. To me, this cartoon implies that everyone should stop being happy until everyone is helped out and every problem is solved. Given that there are 7 billion people in the world, this probably won't be accomplished anytime soon. Even Bill Gates, despite all of his magnificent wealth and efforts, can barely put a dent into poverty and disease. But let's assume this were a real situation. The two men slacking off clearly have a vested interest in keeping the boat afloat, for their lives depend on it. If the other two men stopped scooping water, then guess what? The boat sinks and life is over. What unreasonable jackass would sit back as the boat sinks after the two workers exhausted their energy and their manpower? Hence why this cartoon is stupid. It's a completely unrealistic situation meant to illustrate our very complex society. You ever notice that, by the way? Whenever I try to mansplain economics to someone who disagrees with me, they try to deflect what I'm saying by saying things like, "Oh, well, it's more complex than that." Or, "It's not that black and white." These are usually the same jackasses that use dumb, simplistic memes like this one to express their worldview. Anyway, this cartoon is dumb, and anyone who shares this sentiment is probably an insufferable pessimist that hates life.